All
Gotcha.
right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. Have you ever loved a sport so much and been good at it too? Well, we got the perfect guest for you today. Superstar basketball player, Webster University. I mean, the guy's like a living legend. And
I
he
don't
helped
know
the
about
team
that.
win SLIAC. He helped the team win the SLIAC championship last year, leading scorer. You couldn't let him shoot, man. He was getting triple teamed out there. It was crazy. Thought he was Kobe. Yeah, welcome, Josh Johnson. How you doing?
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me, bruh. Real quick, I always wanted to be on a podcast, and for this to be my first one with you, man, I couldn't ask for much more. So, bruh, thank you for having me. Like this is huge. I watch your content, all your YouTube videos and everything, bruh. So, bruh, I'm a big fan of what you do. So, I'm really excited to be on
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
here.
So we are on my Coach CB channel where my goal is to inspire athletes to kind of look at sports a little bit differently, not as just the exercise, but to look at it as something you can learn from and grow from as a person. So that's the goal. So I got a couple questions for you today. And number one I got is how long have you been playing basketball? Have you played any other sports?
So I started playing, I want to say like fourth, fifth grade, somewhere around there. And I started in like a church league with a lot of guys from my church, with my little brother as well. We all just played together, um, and we always played up. So at first we weren't really that good. We got beat a lot, and then once we start playing kids our age, it just, I mean, they couldn't keep up because we were so used to playing bigger, stronger dudes. And then the second question, I didn't play any sports. I really wish I did in high school. I wanted to play football, but my parents wanted me to stay focused on basketball. They thought I would get hurt, so I never ended up playing, sadly.
Hey, I hear you, man. Thank you for that. Yeah, definitely. I thought about playing football, but then I realized,
Man,
yeah, I'll probably get hurt. So I did.
bro, that's it. It looks so fun though. Like I always wanted to play receiver or
Okay.
quarterback. Those are my two positions I wanted to play, and it
Okay.
looks fun. But like you said, it's a big risk of getting injured. So
Yeah, see, I'm like not that athletic. Like I'm pretty slow. So only thing I could have played was QB pretty much. And it was like, nah, I'm good. I just stuck. I played three other sports though, so I didn't, I wasn't too
dang. Wait, so tennis, basketball,
and
and
soccer.
soccer.
And then
Okay,
if you count
I didn't
chess
know you
as a
played
sport,
soccer.
I played chess. Yes, I played soccer. It was fun. Um,
Oh, that's dope. That's
I was
dope.
a great passer, man. I was the point guard of the year on the soccer field.
Hey,
Oh,
that's
I'm
tough.
getting email from somebody, probably a teacher. But all right, so I've got the second question for you.
Okay.
What have sports done for you? It's open-ended question. You can answer how you want.
I would say it's giving me like a discipline, you know. Um, so what I realized when I got to high school, and I was talking to somebody about this the other day. It's crazy. When I got to high school, um, that's when grades really started to matter. Like I couldn't play unless I had a, certain GPA, especially at I went to Clayton High School, so you had to have a certain GPA, and uh, your grades have to be at a certain level. So what basketball kind of did for me is it gave me a reason to want to do all that work, because everybody knows how school is. You have those days where you have 4 or 5 hours of homework, you're tired, and you got finals next week, and it's just like, what's going to get me through this? And for me, it was knowing that I had to get a certain, or I had to reach a certain like GPA or get a certain grade in the class to play. It kind of gave me that reason, and like I said, it disciplined me. So as I went through high school and then through college, I always looked at basketball as kind of like, it was just kind of a way to help me get through school, like mentally get through, all the troubles um, that you go through, with classes and everything.
Yeah, man, I love that answer, man, because I went through the exact same experience. And then just seeing that now, because like in high school, I went to school because I had practice that day. I mean, I was a pretty good
Bro,
student, but like
yes, bro.
that's what got me out of bed. I had a game, I had practice, playing sports the whole year. And so
Yes,
getting
bro.
to college, first of all, only playing one sport in college was like, what in the world do I do in the fall and in so I spent every day in the gym just shooting because I needed something to do.
Bro, I
And
saw you there,
then,
bro. I saw you
oh yeah,
working, man.
oh
Don't
yeah,
forget about our one-on-ones, bro.
we do, man. I've got him one time in 1-on-1 guys. He wasn't playing for real though. He had on like some slides or something. I don't
Yeah,
know,
he
but
got me. I've been waiting for my redemption. So hey, that's gonna be coming soon, y'all. Don't worry about that.
okay.
No, my fault. I ain't trying to cut you off, bro.
No, it's all good. And so that last part I was gonna say was that now with like the quarantine and I can't even go to the gym and shoot around, it's like, what do I do? And I'm kind of glad we got practice now in the fall for tennis. But
Mm-hmm.
even that, it's just like it's not the same when it's like you in the house a lot. It's not that same school atmosphere, and that can
Oh
be
yeah.
tough. All right, so the third question I got is so like I already said, this guy was like basically a superstar. Everybody's like, this guy is good. You sitting in the game, they like, can you shoot a guard him? Like it was crazy. And so like,
Thank
did having such a big role on the team, like did it come with a lot of pressure? And like how did you handle that pressure if there was a lot?
you. I wouldn't say pressure, and the only reason why I wouldn't say that is because like it just wasn't me. Like some people were like, "Oh, you were the star," and blah blah blah, and like that's cool to hear. But I had like, I'm not just saying this. I actually had great teammates who like picked me up, and no one person can do anything by themselves, right? So, especially in a team sport. So, when I had my off days and my off games, I had teammates who literally always was there to pick me up. Like they were just cool. Like if I was down on myself, they always just gave me confidence and just like encouraged me to like just keep going. So I really didn't, I wouldn't say like feel pressure because I just always knew that my teammates had my back. And it's a great feeling, when you do, like when you recognize that, because like I said, you're not always gonna have it. And when you know you don't have it and you also know that your teammates have your back, it kind of just, it's like, you can calm down, relax. All that weight's not on your shoulders. So yeah, I wouldn't really say pressure.
Yeah, I love that answer. When I was coming up with that question in my mind, I was like, this dude isn't going to answer. He's going to say because his teammates are helping him out because that's kind of the way you are. You're humble, and so I like that. And that leads me to my next question, which was about that teammates and camaraderie. And I was like, how important is that on and off the court to have a team that's like so together?
Man, it's honestly, I think it's the biggest key to team success or just success in like if you're owning a business or whatever, anything where you have to involve others. How you guys get along is huge. And like you guys don't have to be best friends like all the time, but just respecting each other, and actually listening to each other. I was talking to my coach the other day, and he told me uh, those who have power, if they divide it amongst other people, then you ended up having more power because nobody feels kind of left out or no one feels isolated. So I'll give you an example. If we're on a team with one other person and I was just the person that's like, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do this and I'm always right and blah blah blah, eventually you'll get fed up, like, man, I don't want to hear that no more. Like you're not always right because no one person is always right. So when you get, or when you're able to take other people's opinions and say, and they might be like, hey, I think we should do this instead, and you can actually take that, it just makes everybody gel that much more, just because this person to my left knows that he can speak up even though he may be a freshman, or even though he may have just got on the job, or whatever the case is. They don't feel completely isolated. And so I think that goes a long way on the court, because when you're with your team and you have that trust with each other, I mean, you just, I can't even explain it, honestly. I mean, you guys just click. Like, everything just clicks. Like, the relationships are great. You know where I know where my teammates like the ball. They know where I like the ball. I know their personalities. So I know if they come to practice a little down, then I can say, hey, you all right? You know, talk to them. Little things like that. It goes a long way, you know, because you're around each other for so long. I mean, you might want to get to know them and try to like them, because if not, it makes things worse. And I've been on really good teams, and I've been on really bad teams where we didn't get along. And I think that camaraderie, like you were saying, that's the most important part.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. We talked on last episode with Jordan Price, the volleyball player, and we talked about how that teammate
Shout
and
out to Jordan
camaraderie
real quick.
is.
My
Yeah, shout
bad.
out to Jordan.
Yeah.
She's dope.
She's hella cool. I mean,
And we
super
talked
cool.
about how that teamwork and camaraderie is like amplified with volleyball, and how they're all on the same page and all hype after every point, and how that makes it such a more special experience. So thank you
Yes.
so much for that. And then, as it comes to life, that's what's great about especially team sports that I kind of miss, because with tennis it's more individual. But with
Mm-hmm.
that team, it's teaching you how to communicate with others, how to handle, how to handle things like
Yeah.
situations with other people. And that's like one of the most important skills you can have in life. So I really
Yes.
appreciate that answer.
Yes. That is so true. And you just said it perfectly. Like, I think sports can teach you life skills that, and I'm not saying not playing sports can't, but I just think by playing sports, you learn so much about life, that you can apply after you're done playing. You know what I mean? And I just don't know if you can get that from doing other things. So sports have been, it's been everything too.
Yeah, I love that, man. It teaches you so much, and you meet people, you build a community, all of that stuff, man. It does so much for you.
Yes, bro.
All right. So the next question I have is, what have you learned? This is one of the big points of my channel. What have you learned about yourself throughout your athletic career? Do you feel like you've grown as a person?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Let me answer the second part first. So I definitely think I've grown tremendously. I used to be real quiet, um, and I just somewhat like just like unsure of myself. You know, like just not knowing exactly who I was and what I wanted to do just in life, just in general. You know, and so I think with basketball, when I was talking earlier how it can teach you life lessons, for me, I made a decision after my freshman year. I didn't play my freshman year, and I I did want to quit. Like, there was a solid like 2-3 weeks where I didn't want to play anymore because I was just fed up, and I stuck with it. And after that year, I told myself, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just work as hard as I possibly can every single day and just give it all I got, right? And so I just started working out. I started waking up at like 6 in the morning, getting to the gym at like 6 in the morning, just working out like 2 or 3 times a day. And it started carrying over. And so when I started to see results in basketball, I was like, you know what? If I can get better at basketball, I can get better at life. So I took that same mentality to school. I took it to relationships. I took it to just communicating with people, everything. I use it like all aspects in my life. And I still use it today. Like, I got a lot of things that I want to work on. I want to get better at, and I know I can get better at. And I understand that it just takes time, like it just takes time and that consistent effort. And eventually, I'll get there. So I think, I've grown in that way. It's more of a mindset shift that if I can get good at one thing, I can get good at, almost anything. And what was the first part of your question? You said, I ain't gonna lie. What was the first part?
It was
My
pretty much
bad.
the same question, kind of repeated, but it was, what have you learned about yourself?
Oh, yeah. I say what I learned about myself is that I can do more than what I thought I could do. Like and I'm like I said, I'm still working on this because we all go through it. Like you always have that like voice in the back of your head that's trying to doubt and say, hey, what you're doing isn't right, all this other stuff. But what I learned is, like I said, if I can just put my mind to it and just keep working on it, even though like I fail, I may fail at it a couple times or a lot of times, if I just keep going, eventually I'll figure it out. And once you get that mindset, it like opens up everything, because you don't even care about messing up no more. It's like, well, I messed this one up, but I learned from it. I'm gonna use it for the next one. So I think that's definitely the biggest thing I learned about myself.
Yeah, I love that, man. You make me kind of forget what channel I was on, because that's my message on my channel
Bro,
CB.
that's why I love, bro. This is why I love your channel, bro. Like I'm big on inspiration. I'm big on like just a mindset. You know, I feel like the biggest shift for me was my mindset, and like a lot of people don't realize that how big your mindset is. So when I saw you coming out with your channel, and I saw you doing what I've been trying to do for the last couple of years, and that's just chase a dream and chase a goal and do what you love to do. But I was like, come on, bro. Like I was so happy for you. I couldn't even hold it in. I was like dang, my dude's he's doing a YouTube channel, and then I started seeing your videos, and bro, I've loved every single piece of content that you release, bro. So I think that's why I love it so much, though, because we can kind of relate on that level. And it's just when you see somebody working hard for a goal, for me, I get so happy, because it's like, dang, somebody understands what it's like, you know. And I you can talk about like this, but like I don't think people realize the sacrifice that you got to do. And you know, you may have other stuff going on with this, but you have a goal that you want to achieve, that you know you're willing to sacrifice that time, and kind of put you know temporary, like I want to say pleasures, but just things that you want to do right now, you kind of have to put on the back burner just so you can focus on your goal. I don't think people realize that. So when I see somebody else doing it, I get super happy, bro.
Yeah, I love it. I appreciate that so much. You know, I started this channel to try to help people, you know, by giving my stories, and now I get the chance to share other people's stories, and that's so powerful.
Yeah, bro.
Um, I want the people to, sorry, door open. I want the people
Yeah,
to really remember a point that you said, and you said that if you can get better at basketball, if you can achieve this goal, then why can't I achieve another one? I can achieve another one because I already did it before. And
so,
that is something that is so powerful, because like, yes, it's sports, but when you can apply the sports to some other part of life and you can learn the lessons, you figured it out. like, like you figured it out. That's exactly it right there. So I
yes,
love
bro.
that. I love that. All right. So the next question I have is, do you have any iconic figures or people that you modeled your game or life after?
Ooh, ooh, yes, I do. Ooh, hold on, that's a deep question. Okay, so first, I'm a very religious person, so um, I would say God is the first uh, person I really try to model myself after, and just like who he was, his humility, and um, how he just treated everyone with respect. You know, whether they liked him or disliked him. I mean, when you read the stories, there was literally people who wanted to kill him, who did kill him based off his beliefs and what he stood for. And he's so powerful that he can do all things, and yet he still chose to love them back, you know, when they didn't show love towards him. So I think that's the top of my list, is definitely God. But then as far as just people, I would say first it had to be the GOAT himself, LeBron James. Y'all hey, y'all can argue if you want to, but I mean, but anyways, that's a different podcast, bro. But I would say LeBron, just because of just who he is as a person. Like, I know a lot of people, you know, they may or may not like him. I've been a big fan of his since he really got into the NBA, and I just think how he carries himself, how he does so much for his community. He has his own school. I think that's amazing. I think it's like Rock the Vote or something like that. It was like a campaign he was doing to help people get registered to vote. All these things that he does in the community, just giving back, putting funding into different schools and like all the stuff he does. Like it's amazing. And then on top of that, he's at the top of his sport. So I just think it's just absolutely amazing, like how one person can do all that. And then my last person would be, well, not last, but the last I have time for would be Damian Lillard. He's probably one of my favorite human beings like ever. I literally like study this man, like everything, how he carries himself. I kind of model my game after him too, so it's kind of crazy, but I really like his story, how he really came from a small school. Nobody really knew him, but he kind of worked his way up, and he stayed humble the whole time. You know, he it was never just about him. You know, although he was doing it for him, it wasn't all about him, and it's a difference. I know it doesn't sound much or sound different, but it is a difference in that. So I would definitely say those three would be like my role models in life.
Okay, yeah, I love that, man. I definitely see you with your step backs with your Damian Lillard game going on, and yeah, I think it's very important, to look up to people and you see their example, and I mean, if you can't be better than them, you can at least get up to their example. I would say for me, um, I've been a basketball player my whole life. I know I play tennis now, but that was like my last sport that I ever chose. I just ended up getting good at it. But my role models were Steph Curry and Magic Johnson because Steph Curry, he was tiny and he wasn't athletic. He is athletic, but he's not like LeBron athletic, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he was just like a shooter that was like underestimated. And that was pretty much the story of my life. I was never that athletic, but I had so much skill at the game.
Yeah.
And so it was always that battle of being really good at the game and then the athleticism. Um, and so that's why I really like Steph Curry when he came out and he was doing his thing, and everybody was like, "Who is this guy?" And I was like, "That's exactly how I play." And then Magic Johnson loves to pass, and so that's who I was. I was a passer, and I'm a lift up my teammates guy. I can compare that to tennis, which I play. Is like I didn't play all these other years because, like I said, I wasn't that good at tennis at first. Like I was better than everybody else in my public schools, but I got to the private school, college, and I was like, "Whoa, these guys are good."
Yeah.
So I didn't really play that much. But what I did do every single match, I would go out there and I would cheer every single body on. I would run around and just cheer every single person that was on the court and help them, and they would be like so thankful, and you could always see them starting to play better anytime I came around, and I pride in my value in that. But this year I'm finally good now. All right, I've been practicing. Dad's opening doors, but I've been practicing. I'm finally good. So if I do get a season, I'm looking for big things. Hard work pays off. Hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard is what I always say.
Oh, that's straight facts. That's more than facts. That's just life. Like if you work hard and smart, don't let them fool you. You gotta work smart as well. Some people don't really understand that aspect because a lot of people work hard, but you gotta work smart as well. But you put those two together, man, you end up passing so many people. And not that you like comparing, but it just happens, because you just going. You're so focused on what you're doing that you don't even care what the next person doing because you're just doing your own thing. So I love that.
Yeah, I love that, man. I can already tell that I'm gonna put clips from this one on my other channel because it just meets with those goals so much. So now we're gonna get into the next section called "Life is Dope." It's a section where we appreciate the little things in life, man. Sometimes we can get caught up in chasing those dreams and looking towards the future that we forget the little things that we have in the moment that we can be happy about. So I got the first question for you. Best movie of all time, or favorite movie at the moment, if you can't choose the first
Ah! Best movie. Oh, this one's hard. I would have to go with. Oh, this was hard. I would have to go with Friday. Friday. That's my movie.
one. Okay,
I
okay,
can
yeah.
literally watch that. I can watch that all day, every day. But I do have some. I do have some other ones. Love and Basketball is one of my favorite movies too. That's a classic. I'm gonna leave it at those two because I'll be all day. I'll be naming movies all day. So I'm gonna leave it at those two, bro. I would say Friday and Love and Basketball.
Okay, okay, yeah. I definitely love those movies. Those are movies that you like grow up on. You know, it's like you got such good memories. But
What you got?
the movie I got, my favorite movie all time is Finding Nemo.
Ooh.
And I know a lot of people be like, Finding Nemo, you know what I'm saying?
Oh.
But yeah, that's
Oh.
my favorite movie of all time, man. You know, all the lines, and it was so such an amazing movie. And my dad didn't make it any better because growing up, he played the movie so much and he would tell you every single line and laugh like it was the best thing ever.
Bro,
It's
don't you
good.
hate that, bro? Like when people know the movie and they just, bro, I literally hate that so much. I'd be like, yo, like at least let me enjoy it. I know you know it all, but let me enjoy it, bro.
Yeah, I hate
I
that
know
too, man.
somebody who I literally watched the movie with this. He like my brother,
Hmm.
and he literally copied like the whole movie. And bro, I was like, come on. But hey, I think you just remind me of one more I got to put up there, and it's Lion King.
Hmm.
And just like I like the message behind Lion King. It was, bro, that's up there. So I gotta add that one.
Yeah, this is the second interview I've done today, and people just keep emailing me today. I guess I'm just popular today, so
Hey, you
I keep
popping,
getting.
bro. This what? Hey, when you putting in work, bro, that's what happens, man. You gotta keep putting in the work, bro.
Hey man, that's the goal. That's the goal.
It'll happen.
But yeah, I love I love Lion King. I love how it's simply made, but
Mm-hmm.
it's still so powerful of a message. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Hey, have you seen the newer version?
I went to go see it with my cousins.
Yeah,
It was real
it's
cool.
fire. It's fire. It's fire. I think I like the old one better just because it's I watched that when I was like 6 or maybe even younger. But
Hmm.
yeah, that new one is right up there too, just as
Okay.
good.
Yeah, I like it. It was the same movie to me, so it was like it's just as good as the other one. You know, I didn't really
Yeah,
see much of a difference. I mean, it's better graphics, I guess. But
yeah, I feel you.
all right, so the next question I have is something that you do to just feel better throughout the day.
Something that I do to feel better. Um, well, I would say I do a couple of things. The first thing, I always pray, um, and that's just for me. It's just gratitude. I think gratitude is one of the biggest ways you can. I think it's one of the biggest ways you can just get out of a bad mood. And bro, we all go through it. You had them days where you just like everything's going wrong, but for me, and it's so much easier said than done, but I just like to literally say, hey, I'm grateful that I have a house. I'm grateful that my family's still healthy. I'm grateful we have food in this house. Like it's so many little things that you take for granted. And bro, I recently had a surgery, and it put stuff in perspective. Like literally walking down the stairs. Like nobody thinks about this stuff, but like I'm grateful now. That after I had it and I had to struggle with that for a while, it's like, dang, all these little things. Like I'm just glad I have like breath in my body. You know what I mean? So when you put it in that perspective, you look at what you're going through and whatever it is, you just be like, you know what? It's really not as big as you think. Hey, I got another quote from I forgot who it's from, but but I think it's Les Brown. He's a motivational speaker, and he was like, he said, "Don't sweat the little stuff in life." And then he like paused and he was like, "But if you think about it, it's all little stuff." And when you compare, isn't that crazy? It's like, if you really think about it, like everything's little compared to what's really important. You know, like if you really think about it, it could be so much worse than what you're going through. So why even trip? And like I said, it's easier said than done, but you just got to keep reminding yourself that. And eventually, if you're going through something, then you'll get through it. And then I'll say another thing, I told you earlier, I'm big on like motivation, and not because I'm, want to be like a speaker or anything, but like, I just like to hear positive messages. So I think just listening to people's stories, listening to podcasts, watching somebody's YouTube, like little things like that, just seeing somebody in a positive mood and kind of looking at them like, hey, if they can be positive, especially I'll speak during like Corona, like when I was watching all these YouTubers and people losing businesses and they on commercials like, oh, we're going to get through it. I looked at it and I was like, yo, whatever I'm going through, it's not as big as what they going through. And they 10 times happier than I am. So I need to make a change. So I kind of look at other people sometimes and see how good they're feeling. And most of the times they have less than what I have. So it just puts things in perspective for me.
Yeah, I love that answer, man. I'm a Christian too, and like you said, I think one of that powerful part of Christianity is that it helps you put things in perspective. Because if you're just grateful for what you have now, and you realize, like, you're blessed, you have this stuff, and some people don't, and so you gotta be grateful. It
Yes.
really takes away a lot of that negativity. Like, I don't have this, I'm not there yet, but where are you at now? I think that's important.
Yes, man. Wow, you said it perfectly. Like I got another quote. Hey, as you can tell, I'm big on quotes, right? But I got this from Blake Farrell. Shout out to my dog Blake Farrell. I hope you watch this YouTube. But anyways, we were talking one day and he was like, if everybody in the world could throw all their problems in the pile and you could see everybody else's, I guarantee you took yours back. And what I got from that is like, if you could see what everybody else is going through and how good you really got it, you'd be like, I think I'll take my problems back because it's not that bad. I always remember that once he told me that. And that's another thing. Just it's small, but it's big.
Yeah, I love that. We actually did a section. I did a section with Jordan on a previous video that we did a back and forth for motivational quotes section in this Life is Dope section. And one thing she said was just be you. She said just do it, and with the Mikey, and then she said just be you. And those are just it's 3 words, but it's so powerful. It's like I can't even explain it right now because it applies to everything. Just be yourself.
Right.
Just start. Just do it. Just chase your dreams. Just do it, man. That's it. Well, all right, man. We have come to pretty much a close to the video. I want to thank y'all for watching. We had Josh Johnson, star basketball player, come and tell us about his life, tell us about his philosophies, tell us about how sports has helped him, how basketball has really changed him as a person and taught him so many important life skills. So we're very grateful. Do you have any last words or advice to give?
Advice, I would just say, just keep going. Like, I mean, everybody got a goal. Everybody want to do something. So you just got to keep working at it and just believe it's gonna happen. And if you working towards it and you really believe it's gonna happen, one day you're gonna look up and it's gonna be there, and you're gonna be like, dang, and you're gonna love the feeling because you know all the work that you put in to get there. So just keep going.
Yeah, definitely, y'all. Take those words of wisdom if you didn't get anything else from this, but I'm sure you did because it was very powerful. But take his last words of wisdom. Just do it. Just go. Just keep going. Put that in your heart. Store it. Lock the key and throw it away. Keep that there. So,
Hey, I
thank
got
you
it,
guys.
man. I'm finna put it out here, man. Just do it. Stuff here,
There you
man.
go. put it to use. But yeah, thank you guys. Be awesome. Enjoy life. Enjoy the process. Deuces.